Okay.
So let's find out what happens there. He was cool.
A regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, September 22nd, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on September 20th, 2016 at 1:03 p.m. This meeting is being taped, is live on SATV. Also, I ask that everybody please turn off your cell phone ringers. Councilor Milo is absent. Council President Terrio presiding. Councilor Famico moves to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All opposed? So moved. I now request that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilor Epley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony, none. Now I'd like to recognize, before we get going, Councilor Epley.
I move for suspension of the rules to allow
Yes.
Mayor Driscoll to address the body.
So moved. Seeing no objection. We have several promotions in the fire department, and Mayor Driscoll, if you would like to.
Good evening, everyone. It's with great pleasure that I join you tonight to swear in, or I guess I should say swear in 3 new superior officer ranks within our fire department. We choose to do these promotions and swearing in of new firefighters here in the council chamber. One, I think it's a great opportunity in the evening hours so that families can be part of it, but 2, also to share the opportunity to celebrate the recognition of these individuals with the city council. We do partner on trying to provide assets and resources for our public safety departments. We know we have the best fire department on the North Shore, if not the state, so we definitely want to be able to brag about that together collectively. And celebrate not only their accomplishments, but our accomplishments. And I think it's fitting whenever we're promoting outstanding members of the fire department that we really thank them. They're taking on some additional responsibility by moving up into superior officer rank and doing everything they can to ensure that all of our residents feel safe and protected by members of SFD. So I want to thank you for the work that you're doing. Look forward to working with you in your new positions and appreciate your willingness to work harder, put in longer hours, and do the things that it takes as a superior officer to be a model not only for yourselves and the good work that you've been doing, but for all the men and women in the department. Very much appreciated. Chief, do you have any comments you'd like to offer? Great. Invite Chief Cody to the stand before we do the official swearing in of these new superior officers.
Just want to thank the mayor and the councilors for having us here tonight, and we'll be as brief as possible because the Patriots are on at 8:30. I'd just like to introduce you to the gentlemen who are getting promoted this evening. Closest to the table is Dennis Lavasser. He'll be promoted to deputy chief tonight. Dennis started on the department in 1987 as a firefighter, lieutenant in 2000, captain in 2008, and deputy chief tonight. Next to him is Michael Leonard, who started with the department in 1989 and promoted to lieutenant in 2002. And last, but of course not least, is Benjamin Potvin. He's been on the department now 6 years, did well on the last exam, and will be promoted to lieutenant this evening. Congratulations.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Dennis Lavasser.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as
As deputy chief.
captain,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Salem,
of the City of Salem.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I
I, Dennis Lavazza,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Move for a brief recess.
Councilor Epley moves for a brief recess. All in favor? Opposed? So moved.
They've left it over here. I guess they're not
Councilor
buying
Epley.
the drinks tonight, right?
No
problem.
Mr. President, I yield the floor to the
Orlando
good Ward
family.
2 counselor.
Thank you. I move that we move to page 11 in the agenda.
Councilor Famico moves that we move to page 11 in the agenda, motions, orders, and resolutions. Seeing no objection, Councilor Famico.
Thank you, and I thank the good word for council for allowing that. Tonight in the audience, we have 3 generations of Arlanders, hence the moving out of order. So with that, City of Salem and the City Council, September 22nd, 2016. Ordered that the intersection of Federal Street and Washington Street be designated as a Veterans Square in honor of Captain Henry C. Nichols, a Salem resident born and raised, whose service to the United States Navy for the following wars: World War I, World War II, and the Korean War, and whose services to the City of Salem following the wars was as follows: Executive Director of the Salem Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director for the oldest Boys and Girls Club, Salem Fraternity. Established the Captain William Driver Memorial across from the Witch House. A little added part item there, that's the park that we recently have been fixing up with some funding in the last year. Held a seat to volunteer on countless Salem commissions and boards. Took part in fighting the Great Salem Fire at the age of 17. Author of 2 maritime novels, and commended by Mayor Jean Levesque dedicating a sundial to Captain Nichols in Lappin Park in 1978. And that sundial is actually still there. I'm going to add on a little bit for this as well. I had the opportunity to look a little bit through this scrapbook that Ben Arlander has at his house. So this scrapbook had news articles going back, way back when, that Ben keeps a hold of and just tracks everything down. So not only was his great-grandfather like this, but I'll read it from here. His story was like a fulfillment of the American dream. He started out as a poor boy selling copies of the Salem Evening News, which we still have today, for a penny apiece in Townhouse Square to a man commended by President Harry S. Truman during World War II for outstanding service. He was a man so recognized that Congress of the United States passed a special act to make him a permanent captain of the Navy. Through looking through this scrapbook, I also found out at age 22 he became the youngest engineer to take charge of a whole ship. In addition to that, prior to that, he'd work during the day and then go to school evenings to get his education in that field. When coming back to Salem as an old Elmies ad that he was going to be signing his book right over where Rockefeller's area is now. I believe that was Elmies. Someone can correct me for that.
And it was.
Oh, I skipped on that part. In addition, when he was the head of the Chamber of Commerce, it was his big initiative to bring tourism to the city of Salem. As we all know, tourism still continues to thrive today. Through one of those articles I read at that time, Pioneer Village down in Forest River, they had a parking problem in the late 1960s, early 1970s. At that time period, he was talking about tens of thousands of people would come here on the weekends. And they were thinking of building a second road to lead in there. At another time, he was reached out to independently to be able to provide the state of Maine right in the capital. They had a big power outage, He brought the ship out there in order to provide the people there some power. There's countless opportunities of service that he gave to when he came back to this community. And in addition to what I mentioned before, one of the parts he was part of was the Conservation Commission. As we all know, we've seen the Rlanders at just 1 or 2 meetings in Salem, as well as Ben, who's involved with everything from Salem Little League to everything else, so the family continues to give. But Captain Nichols at the time, he was a man that people would invite to speak at different events. He'd help lead different school groups and really gave back to his community above and beyond. So I'm thrilled that we're able to commemorate him in another way. And besides this square, if you're in Lappin Park where all our Adirondack chairs, the little library, Gulu Gulu and such are, take a look. That sundial, it's kind of hidden there, but you can take it and to show your kids or whatever. It's just a fabulous, fabulous thing. Just learning about the Salem history, it runs deep, and I'm just so glad the family continues it today, and that their great-grandfather, grandfather, and father, we have the 3 generations here, that they're able to pass it on to us and that we're able to look back. And if you go to the Boys and Girls Club, once they figure it out, they actually have a portrait of him still there. But thank you for sharing his story with us, and thank you for continuing your involvement in the city as well. I know a couple other members have things to say as well.
Councilor Fury.
President, when we recognize the Nichols and the Arlander family, we recognize the best of Salem. It really is an amazing family. I have the pleasure and joy to work with Ben Arlander at the Peabody Essex Museum. And I've seen Ben grow up. He was playing baseball at Foster Park. It's just a great, great family. And when we think of Salem, we think of Jim McAllister as our local historian. There's no better younger historian in Salem than Ben Arlander. He wears Salem in his heart and his sleeve. He just absolutely loves Salem. And another generation of family, a great love and passion for the city of Salem is Connie Arlander, who's here tonight. The OTA program, as we go by the OTA program, and I've had 40 students come into my house and share my house, and I've changed my life. The OTA students, I've been to OTA, you've been to OTA, and Ben's been to OTA. Amazing. And Dr. Arlander, thank you very much for being so involved in the city of Salem. We may disagree on certain issues over the years, but sincerely, the foundation, the bedrock of Salem, the treasure, the greatest legacy of Salem are families like yours. Families make Salem so special. McIntyre District, great, we have great history there, but it's what family is all about. Thank you for, it's a nice celebration. We celebrated today with firefighters, the best of the fire department. We're celebrating the best of the city of Salem. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am in complete support of this. This is fantastic. And I'm not going to repeat what my colleague said, but what I want to just highlight for the body, to the Arlander family, as well as the folks at home, just the prominence of Federal Street and Washington Street in that corner. And it's both a past, present, and future for Salem in the sense that it's really at the crossroads in the heart of Salem, with a commemoration of the past, because you have right there on Federal Street both the old county building and the old Superior Court, et cetera, as well as a new Ruane courthouse right there, and a soon-to-be newly renovated Thaddeus Butchko courthouse. That's new. That will be near and dear to my heart and my profession in the present. But you also have all of the past, and that's highlighted by Captain Nichols. But you look forward to the future too, because you have the new old district court project that's going to be going up, and with a view of that exact same place. So you're going to have both new people to Salem, as well as celebrating the past, and it's all in the heart of a very busy present downtown. And I just think it's so apt that Captain Nichols that we're honored as Salem to name this corner at Federal Street and Washington Street.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of this. I think the recognition of Captain Nichols is a little bit overdue, but as the good Ward 4 councilor and the good Ward 2 councilor have spoken on, it's a great location. Captain Nichols did so much more, and his love for Salem was instilled in his family. So Connie and Nate and Ben and Henry and so many other Islanders and Nichols, their love of Salem and their volunteering efforts are wide-reaching throughout the city. I've had the privilege of working with them for 2.5 decades on all sorts of things, and I applaud the entire family.
further?
Anybody else?
Councilor Sargent?
Thank you, Mr. President. It is quite a place in history because, Salem was started as a farming community on the North River, settled on the North River with people that came down from Gloucester, picked themselves up and went down Washington Street, which was the only official road laid out to English standards of, I think, 16 rods wide, and went down and resettled on the South River and became the 4th largest trading nation in the world. Not city, largest port in our country, but Salem was the 4th largest nation of traders in the world. Only 3 other countries did more trading than Salem, Mass did. So it's fitting that it's there. But also, my own history with Captain Nichols was I went to the Boys Club, the old Salem fraternity, from the time I was 8 till I was, say, 28. And we used to have a camp up in Raleigh. And I first met him up there. He'd come up there in his uniform, take off his coat, bring us down to the boats, and I don't think we had any choice. We had to go out rowing with him. And we had to row his way. It wasn't short strokes. They were long, strong strokes. They were referred to as Captain Nichols strokes, and that's the way we had to row when we were with him. When he wasn't there, we could row our own way, but when we were with him, we had to listen to the captain. And we never knew who was going to go down that road. The captain came down to visit his boyhood friends, the director George Martinson, and his boyhood friend Jimmy Kirk, who was a chauffeur and used to come up in a chauffeur's car in uniform, and those two would play baseball with us, and Captain Nichols would go rowing with us. But many, many ex-members of the boys' camp would come down as adults, and they would walk up. We'd have to go unload their car. It was probably the first instance in my life of learning how to give back by example. Because they would open up their trunk, there would be a bunch of watermelons, bushels of corn, ice cream, whatever you name it. They were just coming back to give something to the boys, and it was, I won't say poor, but we're a very modest means. So when somebody came with something like that for us, it meant a lot. And they were boys of modest means growing up, and they were giving back when they had a better life for themselves. So that's the kind of guy Captain Nichols was. He'd show up at the club in the wintertime and play pool with us also. So he wasn't just a guy that was coming by once in a while. He was very active, and no matter how far he roamed, he was always from Salem. He kind of is an example of no matter where life takes you, no matter how long you're gone or how far you're away, you'll always be from Salem. Salem will always be your hometown. Come back anytime. So and the second story is on the Captain William Driver Memorial. I only know that the flag is Old Glory because of Captain Nichols. And he didn't want to build that memorial with corporate donations. He decided that the school children of Salem had to learn a lesson from that. So we had to learn about Captain Driver. And he would only accept donations in 10-cent increments from the school children of Salem. So the 10 or 11-year-old, when they dedicated that memorial, there were hundreds of Salem school kids there to dedicate it because they had paid for it. And that's what he wanted. He wanted it to be their memorial, and that's the kind of person he was. Not just by doing something with that memorial, but set an example and educating the kids of Salem at the same time. So this is very fitting. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Famico's motion for adoption of the order, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Anyone move?
I move that
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we return back to page 1.
Councilor Epley moves that we return back to our regular order, starting now on page 3, hearings.
Ordered the Verizon and Mass Electric to install one new jointly owned pole on the northerly side of Silver Street.
Appearing in favor. So Verizon here?
I don't know.
Are you here to speak in favor of the petition?
Then please come up. Please come up to the podium. State your name and address or company address for the record.
Ron Rocha, Verizon, Littleton, Mass.
All right.
Engineering, like, come from. I've never done one of these. I don't know what to do.
You're doing good.
It's a pole line at an end, and there's a guy wire that goes to a tree. The tree is old, rotten, falling apart. It's kind of a hazard. They just want to place a new pole next to where the tree was. They can take the dead tree down and shore up the pole line, the wires, so the poles don't slant.
Okay, Councilor Gerard, any?
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, just a question. So are you guys going to take down the old pole? Did I just hear you say that you
There's
are?
no old pole, there's a tree.
It's a tree,
We won't
and
touch
that's
the
what
tree,
that-
we'll take the wire off the tree.
Take the wire off the tree.
There's a
Okay,
new pole
so,
next to it.
okay, there's no old pole there.
There's no old pole, there's a,
Okay,
they went for a
great.
new pole. I can
Okay,
show you.
fantastic. Okay,
Google,
that was.
Google Maps if you want to see.
That was my big concern. And then I just want to note for the members that I did speak with the city electrician, and he completely supports this.
Okay.
So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak in support of this? Does anybody else wish to speak opposed to this? Come up to the podium, please. Yep. And again, name and address for the record.
Yep, Eric Duham, 5 King Street. Yeah, so the tree has already fallen. I've been calling probably for about a year to get it taken down, and my gripe was if it falls, it could hit somebody, it could hit any of the tenants' vehicles. Yeah, so I'm just saying, as of October 15th, I've called 3 or 4 times, no response, just trying to get the tree to be taken down, or even the guide wire to be removed so I can take the tree down myself. But probably about a month ago, the tree fell by being pulled by the guide wire, and it was on the ground, and I called, I believe, National Grid. But I was even trying to get in contact with Verizon to see who I can get to take the guide wire off. And I believe it was Michael Bird who was trying to, he was trying to route me in the right direction, but I called again even when it was on the ground, and thankfully it didn't hit any of the cars or any of the kids. And I asked them if they could remove the tree, and they said, once it's on the ground, we have nothing to do with it. So I bought a chainsaw, cut it up, and got rid of it, but I was just kind of aggravated on how long it took, so. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Councilor Gerard, so at this point, is the tree or is the existing wire still present, or is this just to relocate?
From
Build
what
the new
I
pole.
understand, when I spoke with the electrician, and then what's in our paperwork here is that the wire is currently attached to the tree, and
Or I guess it's remnants.
or it's remnants, and so they need to erect a new one, and it's going to be about 70 feet further down from where the tree was.
Okay. So with that, Councilor Gerard?
No, there was someone
There's
else who
more.
wanted to speak.
Yeah? Please come up and name and address for the record.
Cindy Nigro, 30 Silver Street.
Sorry.
The actual telephone pole is right in front of my living room window. The wire, the cable, whatever, the support, was on the tree during Hurricane Irene 5 years ago. The top of that tree fell down, and the cable was attached to the rest of the rotting tree. And we had called both Verizon and National Grid several times, and neither one of them would acknowledge that it was their problem. So thankfully, like he said, the tree just fell. I have pictures. It fell like the end of June, and it took probably 3 or 4 days for the cable to be removed. The fire department was there, and when the tree fell. But, so, I was just interested in where the new pole is going to be. So, but it has been an ongoing issue. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Gerard?
So I guess actually, Ms. Nigro, if I could just ask you one more question, if you don't mind coming back up. So you said that the current pole is still in front of your house? This is what's confusing, because he's saying that it's on a tree. The paperwork says that it's on a tree, but there's an actual pole.
The cable that fell down was attached to a tree.
Okay.
And the actual telephone pole is in front of my house. That's right there and stable. It was the supporting, yeah,
Okay.
whatever you call, it never should have been attached to the tree to begin with.
Okay.
But it was.
Okay.
So
So ideally, going forward, if they're going to put it up in a new location, then the new location is fine for you. But we still have the former pole, and that's what I was concerned about, of having the old pole that's just sitting there.
Well, I was led to believe that the current pole needed a support pole.
That's what it is.
So, you know, and if the new support pole is going to go where the tree was, then that's not an issue for me, but it's I think it's your land.
Did you guys get to see a map?
No.
Actually, he probably has it on his, right here. Hey, if I may? I don't,
Gladly.
Looking at the diagram, Councilor McCarthy.
I don't need to speak for National Grid or Verizon or whatever he represents, but it basically is the end of the run. So the pole that's in front of this woman's house is going to stay. The guide wire was connected to a tree and it was preventing all the poles, because it's the end of the run, from leaning over. So what they have to do, because the tree is now gone, they have to put another pole in farther down the street and put the guide wire back to the new pole in order to keep the rest of the poles from, because the weight and the tension on the wires wants to pull the poles back. So sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, sir.
Yes.
Is that?
That's exactly what I mean.
So they're going to add a new pole on the street further down from the pole that has already existed in front of this woman's house in order to connect the guide wire back to keep the rest of the poles from.
To support so previously the tree had supported it.
Correct.
And now there will be
So will
another
this one
pole
still
supporting it
be
since the
used?
tree is
Correct.
gone.
Okay, that's what I was questioning. Okay.
So do we all understand?
Yeah, I believe I got one more question.
Sure.
Yeah, certainly, come up.
So, the new pole that will go in, will this also have guide supports, like pulling it up, or is it just gonna be one pole up, and that's the support for the other one?
It's just going to be one pole up.
And then there's no other supports, like, at the base of that holding that?
There's no down guys in the diagram.
Okay, all right, yep, that's it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilor Gerard?
Do these guys own the pole? Does this company own the pole?
Verizon. He's Verizon. Verizon owns.
Could I ask this man
Sure.
a question?
Yeah,
Sir, could you
Councilor
step
Sir.
up, please, on that? Sure. You own the poles, right?
Verizon owns the pole, the guy wire is a grid wire.
So National Grid owns the guy wire?
The wire.
Right, because your pole is being supported by the guy wire connected to the tree, right?
Yes, and also
Right.
National Grid's power lines are being supported by the guy wire. That's why they put it.
It's unusual for a guy wire to be connected to a tree. So it's one thing, when the wires run through a tree, you can say that it's not, you don't have to maintain the tree. But once they connect a wire that holds the whole string of poles from falling over to a tree, it now becomes your responsibility to maintain the tree. And that could have been the reason the tree split and fell, or, died prematurely. So for someone to call up and say they need to have that looked at, and they say, well, it's not my problem when it's up,
Well,
and then when it finally
I
splits
didn't
the
say
tree
that.
and falls down, it's not my problem to pick it up. Here's a young man that owns a house, invested in the neighborhood, and he's trying to get some help, and he couldn't get any of your companies to help him with that tree. So can you explain that?
We don't do it anymore, but it was a common practice to attach guy wires to trees. It happens all the time. Less in the more populated city areas, but in the country, in the towns, it happens all the time, just to get support. The guy wire is a National Grid wire, so Verizon wouldn't respond to it. And it's joint ownership of the pole.
But if you get the call, can't you call National Grid and say, hey, can't you work together with that?
We do. We pass the information on.
Right.
I admit Verizon is slow, and so is Grid with all pole replacement.
Right, because once you put thousands of pounds of tensile strength onto a tree to hold a whole row of telephone poles from falling over, that becomes part of the structure. And it's happening around the city. If it's happening more, next time it happens, people should get some service when they call up. This young man shouldn't have to spend his time and energy to cut up that tree himself and all that. And plus, he called about it being a problem. I thought it was just a wire running through the tree. The guy wire was actually splitting the tree, and really, we're very lucky it didn't hurt anybody.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so thank you. I'm all set. Thank you.
Councilor Famico?
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I actually have a question for the Lorax chairperson. Due to this being attached to a tree, in addition to having the new pole, can we request that they Verizon would give us at least one new tree and pay for the cost of planting it. It was a city tree, so.
Councilor Epley.
Speaking as the Lorax, no, I appreciate the Ward 2 councilor's request. That's certainly something that that we can submit a request to Verizon and/or Grid, maybe both, to contribute a tree to the city as a result of this issue. And I appreciate the suggestion.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the hearing be closed.
Councilor Gerard moves the public hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Councilor Gerard.
And I move that this be granted, but on the Good Ward 2's recommendation that we, as part of granting this, that we request that they look into donating a tree to the city to replace the tree that came down.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Friendly amendment. I'd like to recommend, this is typical common practice in most cities and towns. I'm pretty familiar with it. A tree of a decent size caliber is typically 3 trees of a small caliber replacement. So I'd recommend 2 or 3 trees be conditioned as part of this permit.
Thank you, Mr.
Councilor
President. Sure. Okay, two trees. Request one from Verizon, one from National Grid.
Might I suggest an appropriate number of trees?
An appropriate number.
And, well, in conjunction with it, we're really kind of going way out into left field here at this point. So.
Gotcha. So.
We should ask that the Lorax chairperson work with the, work with the utilities to
that would
determine an appropriate replacement and
I would
request it.
suggest, just as a friendly suggestion, that this not even be included within the order.
Yeah, it's just
that instead that there just informally be a request from the Lorax committee for exactly what we've suggested.
Sounds good.
Great, then I amend the amended amendment, and I move that this be granted.
On Councilor Gerard's motion for that this be granted, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. That's interesting. Okay, thank you, everybody. So, appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Mary Lobby, 8 Riverbank Road, Salem, to serve as a member of the Board of Health with a term to expire July 21st, 2019.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I move that it be voted on confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Dibble moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Yes. Ms. Lobby has excellent qualifications, and I believe she'll do a great job. And I thank her for volunteering to serve. And again, I recommend that we pass this tonight, roll call vote.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just quickly want to say that as the council liaison to the Board of Health, that I know the board is really looking forward to Mary starting at the next meeting, so looking forward to it.
On Councilor Dibble's motion for confirmation by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Dibble?
Absolutely, yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Lovely?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Terrio?
Yes. On the matter of the mayor's appointment of Mary Lobby to the Board of Health, 10 councilors present, 10 councilors voting, all in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow Ms. Lobby to speak if she so chooses.
On Councilor Dibble's motion, seeing no objection, Ms. Lobby.
Good evening, everyone. I will be brief. Just to say thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to serve, and I look forward to it. And look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening.
Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, Colby Miller, 12 Winthrop Street, Salem, to serve as a member of the Beautification Committee with a term to expire July 21st, 2019.
Move confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Lovely moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Is Mr. Miller in the room, or?
If I may, Mr. President?
Yep. Councilor McCarthy.
When the firefighters were here earlier, there was a gentleman that was looking for the Beautification Committee meeting, and not knowing that I assumed he was looking for 120. I believe that I inadvertently sent him to 120 because I had, at that point, he said he was looking for he didn't say he was looking for a confirmation or appointment. He was looking for the meeting. And I assumed there was at 120. So I believe the gentleman his intent was to be here tonight, but when he came up and he walked up the stairs, he looked lost and because all the firefighters were standing in front of him. And so he looked at me, he says, "Where's the beautification committee meeting?" And I said, if there's a meeting tonight, it would be at 1:20. It wouldn't be here. So I know
he's still there now waiting for his confirmation.
Yeah, so he did show up. So I feel bad that he's not here, but I don't know if there's a way that we can appoint him because his intent was to be here. I'll leave that up to the local
Councilor
body.
Gerard?
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it possible for the Assistant City Clerk perhaps to call him on his cell phone, and perhaps we can just hold this off for a moment to see if we can get him back here?
I don't know. I would be fine with proceeding forward. I don't see any, under the circumstances. That's okay.
Waiting to go forward. His number's here.
Yeah, the cell phone is here.
He may have already, I mean, you can try it. He may have already gone home.
Say we wait.
Councilor Lovely.
Have a motion on the floor.
Yes. Well, we have a desire from members to try and locate him if possible, and if not, I would say we go ahead with the motion, but let's pause for a moment and just let the Assistant City Clerk give this a try. And
So we just move forward and fit him in,
yeah, let's just move forward on the remainder of the confirmations and put that one on the table for the moment. And
whether we do or do not get a hold of him.
I think I have a motion on the floor.
yes, you do.
Roll call vote.
I move to
Councilor
recess.
Epley.
I move to recess temporarily.
Well, Councilor Epley moves to recess while this is being done. What is the will of the body?
Let's go to recess. Like
Continue
2
on.
minutes? Or 1 minute, however long it takes her to reach him.
Well, we'll go with the recess for a minute and let her finish her call.
Is there a vote for the recess, or? there's a motion
If
for
you
a
really
recess?
would like a vote for that,
Would.
Counselor, I'll put one together. Who would like to vote for a recess to allow this to take place? In favor?
I move for a 2-minute recess.
Okay. Councilor Epley would like to move for a 2-minute recess. All those in favor? Opposed? And everyone on. So seeing more hands in favor, that motion carries, and we are recessed. Councilor Epley.
I move to resume.
Councilor Epley moves we resume. The initial motion on the floor was to confirm by roll call vote. However, with him not being here, we also need to move for suspension.
Suspend the rules.
Councilor Ryan moves to suspend, I believe it's 28A?
29A.
29A, to require presence. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. And on the matter of the confirmation, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Terrier?
Yes. On the matter of the appointment of Colby Miller to the Beautification Committee, 10 councilors present, 10 voting, 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments. Yes.
We have the mayor's appointment of James Fallon, 1 Hibernia Way, to serve as a member of the Public Art Commission with a term to expire September 22nd, 2018.
Councilor Lovely.
Move to be held under the rules.
Councilor Lovely moves to be held on the rules. All in favor? Opposed? Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
The mayor's appointment of Gail Kubik, 48 Howard Street, to serve as a member of the Renewable Energy Task Force with a term to expire on September 22nd, 2010.
Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be held under the rules.
Counselor Gerard moves to be held under the rules. All those in favor? Opposed? Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Mark Salinas to serve as a constable with a term to expire on September 8th, 2017.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be received and placed on file.
Counselor McCarthy moves this be received and placed on file. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further appointments, reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Brady Campusano to serve as a constable with a term to expire September 25th, 2019.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be received and placed on file.
Counselor McCarthy moves to be received and placed on file. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $30,000 from receipts reserved accounts as listed below. Receipts reserved sale of lots to DPS burial account and receipts reserved sale of vaults to DPS burial account.
Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Counselor Epley moves for suspension of the rules. All those in favor? Opposed? Moved. Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Counselor Epley moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Very briefly, Mr. President, these are just requests for transfers within the cemetery department for payment of large vault purchase.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Epley's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $25,000 from Retirement Stabilization Vacation Sick Leave Buyback account for negotiated sick leave buybacks.
Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Counselor Epley moves for suspension of the rules. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
On Counselor Epley's motion for adoption, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a very typical and mandated buyback amount that we generally allow without any discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Epley's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $7,005.09 from Retirement Stabilization Vacation Sick Leave Buyback account for the retirement of the following: William Woolley and Thomas O'Shea.
Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Counselor Epley moves for suspension of the rules. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Counselor Epley moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We want to, the council wants to wish both Mr. Woolley and Mr. O'Shea a very healthy and long retirement, and this is just standard buyback.
On Counselor Epley's motion for adoption, Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief.
Sure.
Mr. Woolley served the city very well in his capacity in the Park and Rec Department, but I just want to take a moment to recognize Tom O'Shea. When I was first elected, seems like a long time ago now, Tom O'Shea was one of those individuals in the DPS department. There's a lot of great people that work down at DPS, and those are the guys that do the work day in and day out, and those are the guys, especially for a ward counselor, when you have a complaint or someone calls about whatever it is. I will say Tom O'Shea was one of those individuals down at DPS that would always find a way to get something done for you. And he will be sorely missed, and I'm looking forward to the next person who steps up to try to fill his shoes. But I just want to say to Tom, I wish him well in his retirement. It's well deserved.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Epley's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communication for the mayor.
We have an order to accept a donation in the amount of $1,500 from the Salem Rotary Club to be deposited into the Salem Park and Recreation account.
Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Counselor Epley moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Specifically, this $1,500 donation is going toward youth programming, and we want to very much thank the Rotary Club for this generous donation. And so I would ask that we not only allow this motion for adoption, but I would also ask that we include that a city seal be sent to the Salem Rotary Club to thank them for their generous donation.
On Counselor Epley's motion for adoption and that a city seal be given to the Rotary Club to thank them, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communication for the mayor. Also, let the record reflect that Councilors Gerard and Famico are both recused from this. Councilor McCarthy.
We have an order to authorize the mayor to execute a deed to convey the North Shore Medical Center, Inc., a certain parcel of dedicated parkland, 1,219 square feet, adjacent to the Bertram Field in exchange for a deed from North Shore Medical Center to the City of Salem for a parcel of land of 6,298 square feet adjacent to Bertram Field.
Sorry, now Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption. Under discussion.
It's not my ward, so eventually I'll yield to the good ward, I believe it's in Ward 3, council to talk about this, but it's we talked about this, seems like a while back, but it's relative to the North Shore Medical Center moving forward with their expansion plans, and it's basically a small land swap in order for them to be able to do what they need to do, and we get some property on the other side, so if there's any further discussion on top of that, I'll yield to the Ward 3 council.
Councilor Lovely.
Yeah, I'd like to have this go to the Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs. I spoke with Attorney Carenti. There's an ancillary matter that we have to take care of, and he's agreed to that, and I spoke with the mayor as well. There's no hurry to do this, so I would ask to be reported to the committee. Referred to the committee.
Councilor McCarthy.
If there's no hurry to do it, then I so move that this matter, I rescind my order for adoption and move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs, co-posted to the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor McCarthy has now moved that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted to the Committee of the Whole. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Further communication from the mayor.
We have an order for parking rates effective October 1st through October 31st, 2016 for the South Harbor Garage, Museum Place Garage, and Church Street lot shall be $20.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Councilor Epley moves for adoption. Under discussion, Councilor Famico.
Yes, Mr. President. I spoke with Madam Mayor prior to tonight's meeting. I'd like to amend this. What we'd like to do is amend it to the final part and say something along the lines like, but we need to have the city solicitor fix this up a bit, and the Salem lot at the MBTA station shall be available for use by Salem residents only for no fee for weekends in October, with the same hours for that.
I accept that as a friendly amendment.
We'll have to work out the language a bit, but to have another option available for Salem residents. As we all know, the Church Street lot oftentimes fills up, and that's for visitors and Salem residents alike. And this will provide another opportunity for those that aren't really within walking distance to still be able to enjoy our October season. But same hours, same weekends.
Because we're talking about language on the amendment, would you like to refer that back to Finance for next week and then bring it back out?
I can come up with a new one.
Unless there's a will of the body for us to do that, I would rather us go ahead and go forward with this, because I imagine that there needs to be communications that go out prior to October 1st from the administration. So,
Councilor Famico?
I have language then.
Pardon?
I have some language then, so it doesn't have to be worked out.
All right, then do you want to submit that to...
I'll pass it down.
Pass that
Basically,
over
it
to
says,
council.
and the Salem lot at the MBTA station shall be available for use by Salem residents only at a cost with no fee, or at no fee.
Say the last part, Councilor.
For use by Salem residents only at no cost.
On the weekends.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
On weekends in October.
I will accept that as a friendly amendment.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Lovely?
I have a question. So these garages, these spots, every day, $20?
Yes. Yes, Mr. President.
Councilor Gerard?
Just to be clear, except if you show your license and it shows that you're a Salem resident, then you can go in for free.
Oh,
It's
You're, yes. On the
okay, but on here it doesn't say that, so.
Okay, yeah.
So it's weekends and,
Yeah.
So it starts out with the daily, weekend, and holiday, right?
okay, so Salem residents are free?
As long as they provide.
Okay,
Yeah,
show an
but,
ID. Okay, just like the Army's lot. All right, okay.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't
is a
see that on
change.
here,
Yeah,
so.
the second paragraph says, be it further ordered that any Salem resident who presents valid identification at the Church Street parking lot shall not be subject to the $20 fee.
And by Councilor Famico's motion, we are adding the Salem lot by the MBTA station for it.
So currently, in my recollection, because my office is across the street, on the weekends I don't park in there so they can have the lot. I park in the lot and it's free because I have a Salem license. You don't pay anything, right? So you don't even pay the minimum fee. Right?
Correct.
On the weekends.
On the weekends?
Yep.
Right.
In October.
Harbor Garage.
Nope.
There's
That's
no fee
$20.
for Salem, you're free, as long as you show a license.
In the
Counselor
Harbor
Gerard.
Garage, there is still a fee. Whether you're a Salem resident or not, there is still the fee. But in the Church Street parking lot across from your office, on the weekends, if you show your license and your license says you're a Salem resident, there is no fee. I've done it. Whenever I work at Pomplamoose and I go and park there.
To be
I understand that, so is that the only lot that,
Yes, but
This year, by this motion, there will be 2 lots that are open for no cost for Salem residents, not just one.
But to be clear, the Museum Place Mall parking lot, the garage will be subject to a $20 fee on weekends and holidays in the month of October at $20. That's for everyone. That's not just, so Salem residents, if they do park.
Same practice.
Which is the same practice that we've had in prior.
And also
prior years.
passes are still valid.
Right. Correct.
That was
Passes
my
are still
question.
valid.
Counselor Fumiko.
Just for another clarification with that, as we mentioned, the Church Street part, it's kind of the smaller section. That could be for anybody. It could be whether it's someone here or your relative from Pennsylvania comes or whatever. But this other lot will be for Salem only. And I don't remember the amount of cars that could park in that Salem MBTA lot, but
About 50.
50.
it's about 50 or so. So that will make that only for Salem residents. It's a little extra gift this year. For everyone.
This is the same standard order that goes in every year, except by Counselor Fumiko's motion, we're adding the Salem MBTA lot to it as free parking for Salem residents. Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. If the lot that's owned by the city at the MBTA garage, MBTA stop, was not free for Salem residents last year, I'd like to see this go to committee so we can have a discussion about the number of spaces, the number of revenue that we're going to be missing out on by not charging anything at that lot.
So is that a motion to put this into committee rather than to approve it, or?
That was, thank you, Mr. President. I was wondering if another council could clarify whether or not it was free for Salem residents last year, and if it's something different than...
The MBTA lot was not free for Salem residents last year. It was standard rates last year.
The city lot at the MBTA.
Yeah, the city lot at the MBTA was standard rates last
I
year.
move that we put it into committee and then remand it out immediately so that we can act on it. The city can act on it.
Counselor Lovely.
under discussion, I would support that. I'm not prepared to vote for it this evening. I would oppose it. I think there's votes here to pass it, but I'd like a little bit more explanation and maybe a little bit of give and take if it's called for. So,
Counselor Epley?
I will defer to the Ward 2 counselor since she was the one that was communicating with the administration about this specifically. So if the Ward 2 counselor wishes me to take this as a friendly amendment, I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, I would proceed, we'd have a vote and see where we go. So I'll defer to the Ward 2 council.
Counselor Fumiko?
Thank you. I understand some of the concerns with this. I would like to move forward with this tonight, just because even if we have a meeting with a committee in the next week would be the 29th.
Yes.
And we need to give our residents some ample notification for this, as well as some press releases and everything else.
So then,
That's
Mr.
my-
President, reclaiming the floor, then the primacy of motions at this point was my motion for allowance. And if that fails, then Councilor Dibble's motion would then be available for us to put it in committee.
Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since this is actually, the parking lot is in my ward, and this parking lot actually does have handicapped accessibility. It has the ramp there. I think that this would be a really nice gesture for the City of Salem residents that can't find parking during the weekends in October, and I would support allowing this year.
Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. Without having numbers of the number of parking spaces and the total revenue that might be generated, I believe my motion to put into committee trumps the other vote.
Counselor Lovely.
just briefly, I'm for as much free parking for Salem people as we have. I'm not objecting to adding more, but I think we can do more, and I'd like to have it hashed out.
this.
I asked for a ruling of the chair as to which motion has primacy.
I will say this, it has not been free parking or $20 parking in the past. That lot has not been, we have not charged $20 in that lot in years past. It's only been the other lots. I would suggest in this case from the chair that we adopt this if the votes are to adopt it. I would also say that we adopt it and also refer it to committee for after adoption so that we can have the mayor and/or finance director in next week to talk about this before our meeting. And if we, as a result, want to take if we want to take any amended action to that, that would be the time to do it. But I do agree with the Ward 2 councilor's opinion that we do need the time to get a direction out to residents and to media as well. Councilor Ryan.
Normally, I would agree, send it to committee, but since we don't have that much time, the city doesn't make that much money. A couple of years ago when the garage was built, it wasn't even used at all. I'm all for just letting it go through this time, but to find out, actually, I don't know what the daily rate is in that, how many spaces, but.
$4.
$4.
Or is it $5?
I mean, we because of the election and everything and the meetings getting crunched together, I'd make an exception on this one. Normally, I'd like to see stuff with finance implications go to a committee instead of going through, but because of the time constraint, even though we do have a little time, but I could go for, I mean, anything from, I'll take free stuff. I'll walk anyway, but parking for the residents with all the stuff we put up with, I think it's something, it's a thing of goodwill. I think just this time, and then we can hash it out and figure out what we can do more in the future, like Councilor Lovely said. There's probably more we can do for the residents for putting up with Halloween.
Councilor Lovely.
One more time, and I think that's my point. As Council pointed out, the city, we all put up with a lot with Halloween and the weekends. To have Salem residents be able to come to any of our parking lots, be able to park for free, I think is worthwhile to look into. Now, I know the numbers may say that we can't afford to do that, but I'm not prepared to vote on that this evening, so I can't.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, following your suggestion that I would adopt as a friendly amendment to my original motion, that we pass this as presented this evening, with the caveat that it also be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, subject to review, co-post with the Committee of the Whole, subject to review of the order that we passed tonight.
All right. Councilor Famico?
Just some clarification with that, though, because once again, if it's subject to review, these groups that are doing the lot, that's part of the same order. They need to know what's going on. So the subject to, so we'd pass it, but then subject to review, so then a little clarification on that.
My point, Mr. President, if I may,
Yes.
my point was essentially to allow the questions that the Ward 7 councilor had relative to finance could be addressed. Another suggestion could be, and I'm not suggesting this tonight because it hasn't been properly noticed, would be that a separate order come in, that we look at the issue of parking during Halloween in October. That's something we could start next month for the following year, but we could start that discussion now, basically now. But as the good at-large councilor mentioned, we don't have a lot of time, and so if we can go ahead and pass the underlying motion for this year, that would be great. So I rescind my adoption of a friendly amendment. I'm going back to my original motion.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess probably, I'm sitting here listening to everybody, the cleanest way would be is, first of all, we're on the first order on the top of the page, which is specifically for the South Harbor garage in the lot. So if the friendly amendment was withdrawn and reintroduced, then we could pass that one. The next order is for the youth organizations, which is specifically for another parking lot. And with regards to the conversations about the money, it's, I agree with the at-large counselor, is that, we ask our residents to endure a lot during the month of October and to provide them the opportunity for even an additional 50 spaces for free at whatever cost it is to the city. I think that everyone will want to say that, listen, we're trying to help those people in the city that don't live near downtown, that want to still partake in what goes on in the downtown during the month of October, have an opportunity to have a lot available to them, specifically for them, to do so. And at $4 a car, if it's 50 cars, that's $200, and you figure if they overturn twice, That's $400 a day times, that's assuming that, there's a lot of assumptions because there's no exact science to it because people have to know that the lot's there and they utilize it. That lot on the weekends currently is empty. No one uses that lot on the weekends. No one uses the Universal Steel lot on the weekends. But in the month of October, when people are looking for spots, so it's hard to say what the turnover will be. Someone, for $4 a day, someone may camp out there all day. So it's hard to say what the exact monetary number is, but, and obviously there's probably more turnover towards the end of the month than the beginning of the month. So you probably, if the turnover was twice and it was 50 cars, that's $400 a day times 2, that's $800 a weekend times 4 weekends, it's $3,200, potentially, maybe. Is that right?
And then add in Columbus Day weekend that
Yeah,
Monday.
exactly. So it's kind of be a tough number to figure out. I'm sure someone who crunches numbers in the finance department could crunch it out, but then round numbers, that's what it would be. But it seems like with everything else we're offering, to offer up to Salem residents $20, I mean, instead of paying $20 to have us, or showing an ID, to having a lot available to them, I think it makes sense, but at this point, I think we just divide out the questions and reintroduce it. At our next meeting. The next meeting is only next Thursday.
Councilor Famico.
I'd also like to add, though, through this discussion, it seems like it even goes beyond this one, that some folks aren't ready to even vote on what's currently on this paper. So I'd like to, although the good chair wouldn't like to, I'd like to have that included and just move forward with a vote. I think the votes are there, so. To continue keeping the MBTA lot on there.
So,
I just have one question.
Councilor Ryan, yes.
On the MBTA lot, is there going to be someone there? How are you going to know you're Salem resident? Through you, Mr. President.
Councilor Famico.
A big part of it would just be to hope for the best, just a large sign and then
President.
work out.
Councilor Sargent.
I mean, just realizing that next Thursday we have a full council meeting. This can go to committee, meet Monday. I was thinking we couldn't meet till the middle of October. This would be, we could put this in committee, meet Monday or Tuesday, have it out Thursday. I mean, instead of taking a half an hour here tonight.
Councilor Famico.
Catch was that is the news release and the press release for all this goes out before then. It goes out before Thursday, gives people a few days' notice.
And the first weekend of October is next weekend, which affects people.
Mr. President, I move the question.
We're gonna do a convoluted process because somebody might find out something October 3rd instead of October 1st or 2 days before.
I will point out that...
For a whole month, people are gonna have to deal
Counselor.
with these parking things. For instance, somebody on Derby Street that can't find a space is gonna have to pay $20 to go to the South Harbor Garage if they can, or go all the way to the train station for free, which is a pretty long walk. So that, I mean, this is worth having a meeting.
Councilor,
about.
I'll
We can't
point
do
out
it.
that this is the exact same motion, this is the exact same order that with this change, notwithstanding that Councilor Famico has added this one extra thing for Salem residents, this is the exact same order that has passed every year for the 5 years thus far that I've been on this body, and we've always passed it in late September for this reason. So, this is how we've been doing this at all the garages for all these years, and it's always passed unanimously, so.
I say we just pass it as is, put the amendments to be debated in committee, and they come out next Thursday at the full meeting? Because
I'm gonna move the question, Mr. President.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President.
As is, right?
Again, this was just submitted to the council here tonight. If we looked at the city-owned lot that's at the MBTA garage, and we changed that to $20 an hour, times all the weekends that we're talking about, it's going to easily fund another teacher's position. And I think it's something that we should discuss. I don't think that delaying it for 1 week is a problem. If we put it into committee, we discuss what we should do with it. It's potentially big money. It's a big parking lot. We made a lot of money at Universal Steel lot. This lot is bigger than that lot. So I think we should discuss it because it's a large amount of money.
It's actually substantially smaller.
No.
Okay, okay. It's the reason why I asked that it go to committee. And I believe, again, my request trumps the
We are
motion.
going to vote first on the request to send the entire matter to committee, unless we have a motion before that to divide the question and/or to divide the question and that passes. If that passes, if a motion to divide the question is made and passes, then we will vote on that Otherwise, we will vote on to send this entire matter to committee. If that fails, we will then vote on adoption. Councilor Dibble.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Clarification, does a request to submit something to committee trump the motion that's on the floor?
Yes.
The President just ruled that, I believe, Mr. President.
Yes.
You said divide the question, no?
But if we want to, if the body would like to divide the question prior and move on taking the initial language that we have already accepted as part of it, that we came in the initial order, and then taking Councilor Famico's amendment and dividing it out into a separate issue, we can do accordingly. We have amended the order, but we can now move with the rest. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could we first vote on the acceptance of the amendment?
I thought we did that already. It's been a while.
It's a friendly amendment.
That I
so-
accepted.
That the chair accepted. So if someone so moves, and I'll move it right now, I move that we vote on the amendment first,
Okay.
and then...
And then we can vote whether to divide it
Then
out
we can
once
just
it's
take the
added.
matter up as it
Yep.
exists. So that's either you vote to accept the amendment, or you vote to send it to committee, or whatever your vote is. We could bat this around all night.
Yes.
And I don't think, in the end, we're just going to come back. I mean, if certain members want to know how many cars are parked there, it's approximately 50. But I don't know the exact number. It could be 49 or it could be
All right.
54. I don't remember.
On the acceptance of Councilor Famico's friendly amendment,
You reread the amendment.
Councilor Famico, please reread that one more time, and then we will
Final
vote on
part
the
is-
amendment.
Shall not be subject to the $20 fee, and the City of Salem lot at the MBTA station shall be made available for use by Salem residents only at no cost for weekends in October.
On acceptance of the amendment, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Amendment is accepted.
I thought there was a motion for the amendment to go to committee.
No, first you have to vote on the amendment.
First, we added it to the order.
Okay.
Now it's been added to the order. If somebody would like to vote to now divide the amended order and then send that amendment to committee, because that's how we got it in and could get it out in time for next week.
Once it's together, the motion for the whole thing to go to committee trumps, I believe. It's all together now. A motion to go to committee goes before a motion to divide.
Okay, so we'll now vote on the motion to send the entire matter to committee. All those in favor? All those opposed? Opposed. The motion to send it to committee fails. Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I move that this matter be passed as amended.
Councilor Epley now moves that this matter be passed as amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Opposed. Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to authorize the Salem Youth Organizations to staff the parking lot at 297 Bridge Street and collect parking fees of $20 per day on designated days during the month of October 2016.
Councilor McCarthy.
I move for adoption.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption. Under discussion.
On discussion, this actually came up with a discussion I had with the mayor, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, relative to this would be the Universal Steel lot. It became aware during conversations during the debate over the Webb property that the lot has the potential to generate revenue if it's staffed during specific weekends during the month of October. And the mayor has worked with different youth organizations and come up with some schedule of who is going to be allowed to man the lot and collect revenue on weekends. And the list is in the packet, and
Every day.
it's not every day. It says potential for every day. If you read it, there's a schedule in the order, and it's just on weekends.
Voting on $20 per day.
Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption under discussion. Councilor Ryan.
I just have one. I think this is great. They'll be able to raise money, but how did they figure out who got to do it? This is whoever volunteered.
I don't know how that process worked out. I guess whoever called.
Councilor Lovely.
I would just make a motion that they be properly insured.
Councilor McCarthy?
I mean, the youth organizations, one of the organizations is the Salem High School Band, one is the Flag Squad, one is Salem Youth Football. I don't have the list right in front of me.
Drama Club is the...
What's that?
The Drama Club also.
The Drama Club at Salem High School. So most of the organizations are organizations that would fall under the umbrella of the city. And in the years past, when I've seen the band out there, it's been band parents. So I don't know how that would work insurance-wise or whatever, but that's what's been done in the past, and it's just for the specific weekends in October. With regards to the staffing of the youth by the different organizations.
Does that address your question, Counselor?
No, I would like to make the motion that they be properly insured. If we have kids out there and somebody, it's Halloween, somebody runs somebody over, then the city's going to be on the hook. So you can decide not to do it, but I don't want to say I told you so if something were to happen, so.
Councilor Epley?
While I appreciate that these are parent organizations and are not not necessarily employees of Salem Public Schools. Certainly all of the students are students of Salem Public Schools. This benefits students of public schools, and it really is a Salem High School issue. So if there are those issues, I think that the city would be responsible, just as it would be since these are public lots as they are.
Councilor Ryan?
I just have the city solicitor verify that they have insurance. I'm sure they all do. I mean, out of the three, I'm looking at Salem Youth Football is not affiliated with the high school and stuff, but I'm sure my kids play sports. They have to sign waivers and stuff like that. It can't hurt to ask the city solicitor just to double check to make sure they're all set.
Councilor Gerard?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to be clear, we're just talking about kids taking the money. They're not actually parking the cars.
If they get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Actually, the parents do
Yeah.
it.
So, Councilor Sargent?
Just to clear, the times that aren't being staffed, or the times and days that aren't being staffed here, the normal kiosk would be in effect, the normal
Yes.
pay? So that would be, what, $4 a day, $5 a day?
Whatever it is, on the weekends, this would supersede the kiosks.
Right. There's a potential for more revenue there. I don't know how, if the city can't staff it the other times, the other nights, especially say the night, I'm sure the kids will do right around Halloween weekend. But I might suggest the possibility of, say, veterans groups, if they want to do any of the other days, weekdays, weeknights, those kind of things, to be able to put into that. But I don't know how to add it into there where it's already there. But there's going to be nights leading up to there that the $20 fee would work, and it's in place in some of the other lots, and it'll just be $5 there. It'll be good revenue for the city, but it seems like some like our veterans groups could benefit from this also.
We did this for the first time last year, in the first year after the MBTA garage opened fully, and that lot became once again available.
Right.
So, this was something that was done as experiment last year, and this year they're just looking to have a more organized order of the groups that they give it to. If the administration would want to.
I'm not going to try and change this. It's too late, but I would put an amendment that each group make a daily accounting as to what they take in, so we can have a good accounting of what it's, what an October would be like if we were to continue to own the lot and charge $20 a day ourselves as we do the parking garages. So they have in the past, we've got a rough estimate, but I'd like each group to do a daily revenue count for the days that they're in there, what they take in, so we can track it. So, thank you.
Councilor McCarthy, would you take that request as an amendment?
Yes.
Okay, and on the question of insurance, I would suggest that we adopt within this a request to get the information on what insurance would be required, if any, from the city solicitor. Would that be acceptable, Councillor?
I don't know.
Okay. Councilor McCarthy?
I will verify with the city solicitor either tomorrow or on Monday whether or not what, if any, insurance she believes would be required for this to happen. And if there is something to be required, then I will request that she get whatever documentation she needs to satisfy that result. I could write up an order right now and have it brought out at the next meeting if you want, but this is something that's gone on, I think, for the last 2 years. and this is the first time it's been questioned, so I don't have the answer for that right now, but I'd like to move this forward.
Councilor
I
Lovely.
will work with the city solicitor to make sure it's addressed.
Just to point out, somebody mentioned it's only kids taking money. Will it be kids perhaps directing somebody to park over there, not seeing somebody, and somebody runs somebody over, and then the city's involved? I'd just like to make sure that they're making money there. I don't think an insurance policy is going to be that expensive. Maybe the city get the insurance policy for doing that, and have them split the cost, or the city can just take up the cost. But I think you're taking a risk having younger people. I know they're going to be supervised, but accidents do happen, and when you have kids who, they're going to be busy, they're going to be distracted, they're kids, and I guess maybe I take my attorney role too seriously, but I'm concerned.
Councilor McCarthy, can we get can we do it either through a order that you can submit, or however, take this and get a resolution to this question as, and should it not be, because this is something where we could get a opinion if need be for next week, that we could then move on. If we can do whatever we choose to do with this to dispose of it tonight, but then put in an order to get this resolved with the city solicitor in time for next week. Councilor McCarthy with it.
Thank you, Mr. President. What I will do is, I will have the conversation with the city solicitor, and if within her opinion that they should be required, that they should have to carry some sort of insurance rider in order to do this, I will put an order that will be on the agenda for Tuesday, for our meeting on Thursday, ordered that the specific organizations provide some sort of insurance certificate relative to their ability to collect the money, if she deems that's necessary.
That work?
That's acceptable. It's not about collecting the money, though.
Yep, I realize that.
That's acceptable.
Okay. On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to Chapter 24 offenses and miscellaneous provisions by adding Section 24-29 Proctor's Ledge to prevent entry between dusk and dawn.
Councilor Famico.
This is actually in Ward 4,
Ward 4,
so I'll
yeah.
defer to Ward 4 Council.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for first passage.
Councilor Epley moves for adoption for first passage. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will have my own amendment to this in just a second, but this is a protective measure for the residents on Proctor Street and Pope Street for the new memorial that's being placed there. We're at Proctor's Ledge. The proposed ordinance asks for a $50 fine for any after-hours meeting that is basically folks being there after hours when they shouldn't be. And it provides a tool to the police department, similar to what we have with our cemeteries for after hours, in staying out of where they shouldn't be, during the dark. My amendment, this was the administration who filed this, but my amendment would be to increase that amount from $50 to $300. And my rationale behind this is this. Number one, it's, I think, has more teeth to it, certainly. It complies with the state laws to the maximum amount that we can charge for fines within cities, within our ordinances. An example that we've done in the recent past was increasing our handicap parking fee up to $300. I've spoken with Dominic Pangallo, the mayor's chief of staff. I've spoken with Beth Renard, our city solicitor. I've also spoken with the Ward 6, Ward 2, and Ward 1 councilors about this, contemplating that after tonight, but at a future date, that we have a discussion about cemeteries and increasing that amount from $50 to perhaps $300. And I'm just wanting uniformity here, because it's the same concept of not wanting to disturb what's essentially hallowed ground. How I come up with the 300, The cemetery number, back in 1973, when we passed the cemetery, at least at that time, when we last looked at this, it was 1973, there was a $50 fine for cemeteries being in there after hours. If you do time value of money to 2016 dollars from what 1973 dollars were, that $50 from 1973, Mr. President, is now worth $278. So basically what I'm looking to do is increase this up for Proctor's Ledge to $300, and then at a subsequent date that we come back and we hopefully talk and discuss and have a parallel amount for cemeteries as well, obviously with the cemetery commission as well, but I don't want to make that necessarily part of this discussion tonight. I just want to get this on the books for October so my residents are protected and can have some teeth that the police can use behind that. So I do move that we increase this from $50 to $300.
We have a second on the amendment.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Fury. Any further discussion on the amendment? Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one quick thing to note, that when in my discussion with the Ward 4 councilor, that I stated that anything that related to the cemetery should definitely go to the cemetery commission and should not be solely up to us to make that decision, in which he agreed.
We'll get to that point in the discussion. Any further discussion? On adoption of the amendment to change $50 to $300, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. On adoption of the order, any further discussion now with that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to Chapter 32, Police, by deleting Section 32-19, Constables, and replacing it in its entirety.
I think this would be actually Councilor McCarthy, so.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for first passage.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption for first passage. Under discussion.
This was brought to the attention, I believe, to Councilor Famico, and she had a discussion with Chief Butler, and basically, as we approved earlier today, constables, the language around constables is a little vague in what the qualifications are and what the requirements are in order to be a constable. I was commenting to someone earlier, my experience with a constable 20-something years ago was when someone bought a piece of property that was taken by the bank and the person still lived there, the constable was the first person through the door to make sure that the person wasn't on the other side of the door, and that the premises was vacated, and they went in with a drawn gun. So I'm assuming one of the qualifications is, I would think, that they have a gun permit. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you what the qualifications are for a constable, and I think this is just an attempt to clear up the language to make some definitions. But at this point, I will yield the floor to Councilor Famico.
Hey, Councilor Famico.
I did not have this discussion with Chief Butler, so
I thought you were the one that had the decision. Oh.
no. But thank you.
Councilor Sargent.
With all due respect, I think we're changing the city ordinance regardless of what's in it or not, and I think that begets that we refer it to committee and at least have somebody in to talk about it. I don't know who the constables are. They may want to talk about it. The police might want to explain.
I have no problem changing.
I would ask that we do that.
I have no problem changing and refer this matter to the Committee on Legislative Legal Affairs co-posted.
So Councilor McCarthy now moves that this be referred to the Committee on North's Licensed Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications for the mayor.
We have a home rule petition for additional liquor licenses notwithstanding the provisions of Section 17 and 17A of Chapter 138 of the general laws as set forth below. Convert the seasonal liquor license on Beauchamp and Flatbread to an annual license. One additional license for the sale of alcoholic beverages for Merchant Hotel. One additional license for the sale of wine and malt for the Brew on the Grid. And 5 additional licenses for the sale of alcoholic beverages to establishments located within the city of Salem.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on the Whole.
Thanks. Councilor McCarthy moves that this be referred to the Committee of the Whole. No need for discussion, I think, this is going to referral. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Mayor's informational page, none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. In the City of Salem, in the year 2016, we have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 75, parking prohibitions, towing zone resident sticker. Preston Road, Zone B, color red. Preston Road is in its entirety, both sides between Sumner Road and Jefferson Avenue, resident sticker parking only, tow zone, and I need to add Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter.
So is that an amendment to the ordinance that you're proposing, or is that?
I'm moving for first passage tonight.
Okay, so we also have to move on the amendment itself. So the proposed amendment is to amend that to be Monday through Friday. What are the hours?
I'm sorry, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Councilor Famico. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. On adoption for first passage, and under discussion.
Under discussion, this will go a long way to alleviate some of the parking problems that we're experiencing with Salem State University's Central Campus. Dorm residents are parking all over the place. A very unusual year this year compared to the last several decades. This one street is the last of all the side streets that does not have resident only.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Dibble's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 74, General Prohibitions Towing Zone, Raymond Avenue, northerly side starting at Lafayette Street and continuing for 70 feet in a westerly direction, no parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter. I move that we adopt for first passage.
On Councilor Dibble's motion for adoption first passage, under discussion.
Yes, the council may remember approximately 3 years ago, this council approved a 90-day trial for this exact same thing on Raymond Avenue. It was passed, signs went up. A sign went up. The sign was installed on a tree. The 90-day trial just seemed to continue for the next couple of years with the sign in place, and then the tree came down. So now we have the parking problem has come back again. So we're making this permanent tonight.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Dibble's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, or resolutions. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Repeal Dearborn Street in front of number 12 for a distance of 20 feet. Handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
On Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption first passage, under discussion.
Motion for first pass, sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. This actually has a story to it with the next ordinance that I have, that the person who lives at number 12 Dearborn found that because they needed a larger van, that it was better for them to park on Upham Street, and Lieutenant Brzezinski spoke to the owner, also spoke to the neighbors, and everyone was in agreement that it is fine that this person moves the handicap space around the corner so that it's easier for them to enter and exit their car and get into their home.
All right, any further discussion? On Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Upham Street, easterly side, starting at a point 20 feet from Dearborn Street and continuing in a southerly direction for 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption first passage under discussion.
Sorry about that. No discussion, I just explained that.
Seeing no further discussion on Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to the Salem zoning map, be it ordained by the City Council, City of Salem as follows. Section 1, the City of Salem zoning map shall be amended by adding Jefferson Avenue as a designated corridor with the entrance corridor overlay district. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by the city charter.
On Councilor Lovely's motion, refer the planning board to schedule a joint public hearing with the City Council. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Councilor Lovely's motion. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, be it ordained by the City of Salem, by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 49, obedience to isolated stop sign. Wilson Road, northerly bound on Wilson Road, stop at Cottage Street. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by the city charter.
Councilor Lovely's motion for adoption first passage under discussion.
Just this has the requisite approval from the Lieutenant Pazuski. It's a current, we did a trial, and we'd like to make it permanent.
Thank you. On Councilor Lovely's motion for adoption first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem in the year 2016, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, be it ordered to the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Allen Street in front of number 10 Allen for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone. This ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption first passage under discussion.
Briefly, Mr. President, the gentleman at the address was requested a handicap spot and went through the process with Lieutenant Pazuski. He went out and approved the location, and I move for adoption.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption first passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that the monthly financial report dated July and August 2016 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
On Councilor Epley's motion for adoption, under discussion.
No discussion.
Seeing no further discussion, on Councilor Epley's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved.
Mr. President.
Further orders. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two late files. City of Salem, the City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that the Committee on Public Health, Safety and Environment, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss the increase of wild animals in the city, including but not limited to coyotes, wild turkeys, etc.
Councilor Epley's motion, this be referred to the Committee on Public Health, Safety and the Environment. All in favor? Opposed? So moved.
Mr. President, City of Salem and City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that the Committee on Public Health, Safety and Environment, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to review the current Chapter 8 ordinance relative to animals, dogs.
On Councilor Epley's motion that the committee meet, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Committee reports. Councilor Gerard.
Mr. President.
Oh, sorry, there's more. I missed that. Sorry. Councilor D'Amico.
City of Salem and the City Council, September 22nd, 2016. Ordered the City of Salem licensed operators of any electronic assistant mobility device, aka Segway companies, shall be invited to a meeting of the City Council, Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs for the purpose of discussing and reviewing complaints that Segways are operating on streets outside the designated route set forth in City Ordinance, Chapter 42, Section 43A.
On Councilor D'Amico's motion that be referred to the Committee on North License and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved.
And ordered the City Council Committee of Ordinance, License, Legal Affairs meet to discuss, review, and make possible amendments to the language and maps of City Ordinance Chapter 42 and 43A relative to the electronic personal assistance devices, aka Segways.
On Councilor D'Amico's motion, this be referred to the Committee on North License and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem in City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that the city's ordinance on license and legal affairs, the Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, review that a trial period up to 60 days on the following: parking prohibited, towing zone, resident parking only, Preston Road between Jefferson Ave and Sumner Road, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
On Councilor Dibble's motion, all those in motion to be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs, co-posted to the Committee of the Whole, otherwise you can't participate.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two late files as well. City of Salem, City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that a trial period of up to 60 days on the following traffic recommendation, Chapter 42, Section 75, parking prohibited tow zone, resident sticker, Halloween resident parking, Ford Avenue, both sides from Webb Street to number 59 Ford Avenue, resident parking October 1st through November 1st.
On Councilor McCarthy's order, this be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs. All in favor? Opposed? So moved.
I also move that the City of Salem and City Council, September 22nd, 2016, ordered that a trial period of up to 60 days on the following traffic recommendation, Chapter 42, Section 75, parking prohibited tow zones, resident sticker, Halloween resident parking, Derby Street between Webb Street to Ford Avenue, resident parking only on both sides from October 1st to November 1st.
Councilor
And
McCarthy's
further move
motion.
that this matter be referred to the Committee on Licensed Legal
On
Affairs.
Councilor McCarthy's motion, this be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Any more? Nope. Seeing none. Committee reports. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, September 22nd, 2016. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and the Environment co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a memorandum of understanding submitted by Salem State University students relative to clean energy, has considered the said matter and would recommend that the resolution be adopted as amended.
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a very lengthy meeting. We took into account edits that were recommended by Councilor Lovely. It was unfortunate he couldn't be there, and from there we recrafted the resolution for that the Salem City Council is in support of 100% renewable energy. If you'd like, I can read it, or I can waive the reading.
I'd waive the reading.
Waive the reading, okay. It was actually a really good discussion, and yeah, and the committee supported this wholeheartely.
Any further discussion? Councilor Lovely.
I wasn't able to make it, and I'm sorry for that. I know I'd sent my edits previously. I'm just, again, troubled by the whereas on page 2. Massachusetts can get 100% of its energy from clean, renewable. I mean, is that really possible today, and at what cost? If it's, I mean, it's a goal, certainly, but I think that was one of, I don't have my draft with me, but, you know, I mean,
Councilor Gerard?
can you answer that?
Sure. Yes, we discussed that, and that it is, and we recognize that it is a goal, and it's a goal of the state of Massachusetts. It's a goal of actually, I'm sorry, at least in the state, and we are actually one of the biggest energy producers in the country now, of clean energy producers. I think we're number 4 in the country at this point, if I remember the statistics correctly. And so that this is something that was emphasized, that this is something for us to strive towards over the next 50 years.
Councilor Lovely.
Just by friendly amendment, I would feel more comfortable if it said Massachusetts can aspire to 100% as opposed to can get, because it seems like we can do that today.
Massachusetts goal is to...
Or goal, I mean, aspire to is the same as a goal, but this, I think the way I read it and the way I read it previously was that we can do that now. Why aren't we doing it? I don't think we can do it now, certainly not throughout all of Massachusetts. Certainly at great expense. I don't think there's enough renewable energy available. I don't know what the percentage is now that's being generated. It's an admirable goal, but my point is that it should be a goal.
Wait, Councilor Dibble and Councilor Sargent, then.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did meet on this for quite some time. I have the good Ward 3 councilors' edits here, and I can share his notes with him. We did look at Councilor Sargent's comments, Councilor Large, Ward 3 councilors, and the Ward 1 councilors' comments, and took them into into consideration on all these and kept most of their edits into this document in a very long committee meeting that was attended by Salem State University students from MassPerg. I highly recommend that we pass this thing here tonight. I think we're there. We've been discussing this. I started discussing this in January. It's been a long, long process, and it's been before this committee twice now, and before the committee, I believe, 3 times now. I'd like to see this move forward tonight, please.
Councilor Sargent.
Yeah, that would, it's come a long way. It's very, very good work. I just, a friendly amendment, if possible, is just that we, on that first line of the whereas, we cross out the can, cross out the letter A, and it says and add goal is to. So it says Massachusetts' goal is to get 100% of its energy. That way it's just a goal and not a statement that we are. And, but everything else is great. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, you can actually live off the grid. If you have the means to do so, you can completely live off the grid. And there are people in Massachusetts who already do. So yes, Massachusetts can get 100% of its energy from clean, renewable sources. And so, I mean, that's a statement of fact. You can do that, and you can do that today if you choose. And I agree with with the Ward 7 councilor as well as my committee member that we did do a lot of work on this, and this is really important, and this is a fantastic goal to strive towards. And I strongly recommend that we pass this. And as a committee, we supported this 4-0, and I really hope that it passes tonight.
Councilor Fury.
Thank you. Councilor Churiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will request one single friendly amendment myself, which would be that whereas Massachusetts can get a 100%, just to get rid of the word a.
Okay.
Because that's simply a typo.
One we
Can you
missed.
accept that amendment? Or?
Absolutely.
Thank you. That one. Otherwise, I think this is fine myself as, you know, again, this is an aspirational document. It is possible for Massachusetts to get 100% of its energy from clean renewable sources by doing all these things. It will take time, and right now it's prohibitively expensive for us to do that today, but it's a good goal for us to work towards, and I believe that is what, you know, that's very clearly even said here, that the goal is, in the next paragraph, a goal of 100% clean renewable energy. In the next one down, the goal of 100% renewable energy. I think it's a very good thing for us to aspire to do. Realistically speaking, we're about to start generating in less than a year, roughly 800 megawatts of power right down the street from natural gas, which is not renewable energy. So, obviously we do want to get there as a Commonwealth, but we're not there yet, but this is a good goal to aspire to.
I agree.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm in full support of it. I was in the committee. I think a lot of the suggestions by the good Ward 3 councilor in his draft were very helpful, and we took all of them into consideration. And I would just suggest as well that not only have we had the several meetings as the Ward 7 councilor mentioned, but we specifically had this meeting earlier this week that was not only for our committee, but it was also co-posted. And so the request was to take it to committee. We did that. There was an opportunity for all councilors to come to that meeting with any of their other suggestions or be part of that debate. And the subcommittee came back with a 4-0 decision and request that this be passed as suggested, and that's what I hope that we do tonight.
Councilor Lovely.
I thank Councilor Dibble for giving my notes, and as I recalled, I had an objection to CAN. I don't believe that it's possible for all of Massachusetts to live off the grid, even at any ridiculous price that they may charge. It's just not possible. So I'm happy to support it if it's changed to a goal. We cannot currently get 100% of people living off the grid. So I guess if you want my support, I'd ask you to make the change, because I had asked for that. I was pretty clear about that at the last meeting. They couldn't attend. It's in the notes here. It was problematic for me. So you have enough votes, but I suppose it'd be nice to be unanimous, but it doesn't appear here to be listed as a goal. So.
Councilor Gerard.
I would like to go forward with recommending that this be approved, adopted as amended.
All right, if somebody move the question, we'll,
Move the question.
on adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Oppose? So moved.
Be recorded as opposed.
Further committee reports, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, September 22nd, 2016. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and the Environment, to whom was referred the matter of creating an ordinance regarding plastic bags and polystyrene food and beverage container reduction in Salem, has considered said matter and would recommend that this matter remain in committee and also that this subject matter be co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
What do you mean?
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, all those opposed, so moved. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have a lengthy discussion about this as well, and our next meeting, actually, we've already scheduled. It's going to be, we're hoping to schedule it on October 4th, which is Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And we co-post it because we would like to hear from everyone, because this will eventually impact the whole city. So hopefully everyone can attend.
On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion? Seeing none? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further committee reports. Councilor Fury, could you?
Councilor Tullio.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, September 22nd, 2016, the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of discussing the City of Salem and OTA's sister city relationship, has considered said matter and recommend the matter remain in committee.
Under discussion?
Well, let's get the committee report first.
Accept the committee, acceptance of the committee's report. All in favor? All opposed? So moved.
Adoption.
Adoption of the recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. They had come in to us this spring and put this into the Committee of the Whole and asked that we take a look at things. Some money was allocated to their program in the city budget this year as adopted. We put it on the docket anyway as a opportunity for them to come in and talk further about it. They didn't come, so we simply left it in committee just in case there's a need to have a discussion this before year's end. So,
thank you. Any further discussion? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Thank you, Councilor Tullio.
One more.
Please.
So, City Council, September 22nd, 2016, the Committee in the Whole to whom was referred the matter of a home rule petition for an additional liquor license for Regaza Hospitality Group located at 41 Lafayette Street, Kokeshi Restaurant, has considered said matter and would recommend the attached home rule petition be adopted as amended.
On acceptance of the committee's report, all those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. Councilor Tullio.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the proprietors, this is the team that owns Bambolina over on Derby Street. They came in, discussed plans for their new restaurant. Actually, as it turned out, the next day, because I was down right near there, I went in and saw them clearing out the large amount of pavement and Belgian blocks that they're getting rid of from the place. I use the correct terminology, Councilor Finico. And they are building their restaurant in what was once a long time ago a city street that was then covered over with a roof to connect the two buildings. It's really quite interesting inside there, the architecture of it. So they've met with the people in Derby Lofts and brought them in to see how they run their other business. They're familiar people. There's no objection to us from the neighborhood, and these proprietors have a very good track record already of running a business creatively and generating really nice, good, positive attention for the city of Salem with their business. So we recommended approval unanimously.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion on the adoption of the recommendation. All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved.
Do we have to do a roll call on that?
You want a roll call?
For the home rule? No? Okay. Thank you.
Nice touch. Well done.
Thank you. Communication from city officials.
City Solicitor Elizabeth Bernard submitting an ordinance amending Chapter 36 Solid Waste Management. An ordinance amending Chapter 36 Solid Waste Management, Section 36-4, pickup of large items, and Section 36-5, residential curbside solid waste and recycling collection, and Section 36-6, collection fee for certain residents, and Section 36-8, collection fee for certain commercial establishments.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be referred to Committee on License Order of Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole.
Councilor McCarthy moves for this to be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole. Under discussion.
I further move that this be taken up at our next meeting, which will be next Thursday before our next regular council meeting. At that point, the city solicitor will make available if anyone has any questions relative to changes, if anyone hasn't a chance to see them, and then we'll just move on it after that, at that meeting next week.
Councilor Lovely.
Mr. Chairman, when would the meeting be held? Next Thursday?
Next Thursday, 6:30.
A half hour? Would be enough time?
If the will's to have a meeting, I can schedule a meeting.
I'm just concerned about, I haven't read the ordinance, so I don't know how it affects commercial establishments. So.
Okay, then I will, I'll contact the city. I withdraw the motion to move it to a meeting for next Thursday, and I will look at the calendar and try to schedule a meeting for next Wednesday, I believe, because Tuesdays already has a meeting. Legally, we can't have a scheduled meeting tonight for Monday, so the only other date available would be Wednesday. And if I talk to the city solicitor and it's not time sensitive, then I'll project it out. But it is time, I don't believe it's a time sensitive, I'll talk to her tomorrow.
Okay. So on Councilor McCarthy's motion to refer it to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Petitions.
We have a petition from National Grid to install a pole on Highland Avenue.
Hearing order September 29, 2016.
We have a petition from Boston Pie Inc., DBA Domino's Pizza, located at 4 Canal Street, requesting extended hours of business hours. These hours will be until 1 a.m., Sunday through Thursday, and till 2 a.m., Friday through Saturday.
Hearing ordered October 13th, 2016. Further petitions.
We have a request from Adam Fitch and Matt Richard to hold a walk, the Zombie Walk, and use of city streets October 1st, 2016.
Councilor Flamenco.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be granted.
Councilor Flamenco moves this be granted. Under discussion.
No.
From the chair, I've participated in this the last several years, and that we should have more city councilor zombies participating. There's my challenge, Councilor Dibble. He challenges people to races, so I challenge him to a zombie shamble. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have a request from Fiesta Shows to hold a carnival from October 14th through October 31st at 289 Derby Street from 3 to 9 p.m. weekdays and noon to 10 p.m. weekends.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this petition be granted.
Councilor McCarthy moves this be granted. Under discussion.
I've always wondered when this will move out of Ward 1, but it's one of those things that, in talking with the various departments, police and everybody, it's one of those things, and like Mr. Dean last year, who was here, he's been here every year, I can't remember, I used the word necessary evil, and he had a better way for it, but it's one of those things, it's the carnival, it's one of those things where people bring their kids here, and they've gone to whatever museum or they've seen what attraction the kids want something to do. It provides an opportunity for kids to do something. At some point, I would love that if we developed that lot to something so it could move out of Ward 1, and but it's been one of those things that's been there, and it's become part of the fabric of what goes on down on Derby Street with regards to Halloween, and it just provides an opportunity for kids that don't have, that sometimes, look at mom and dad and say, well, I want to do something. So it's just one of those things. I'm not a big carnival person myself, but it's one of those things, and I move for approval.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for approval, no further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications for public guide, taxi operator, vehicle for hire operators only.
Waive the reading.
Councilor McCarthy.
Move that they be granted.
Councilor McCarthy moves they be granted. Under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion, they be granted. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have a taxi operator license application.
Councilor McCarthy.
Move that it be denied.
Councilor McCarthy moves it be denied. Under discussion.
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion be denied. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have 2 Tag Day applications.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on License Order Legal Affairs.
Council McCarthy moves these be referred to the Committee on Ordinance and Licensed Legal Affairs. Under discussion?
No discussion. None of these are tag days are before our next meeting, so we can take these up at our meeting on Thursday.
All right, on Council McCarthy's motion, these be referred to the Committee on Ordinance and Licensed Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have a list of claims.
Council McCarthy.
I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs.
Council McCarthy moves that they be referred to Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs. Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Council McCarthy's motion, they be referred to Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have 3 drain layer contract operator license.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these petitions be granted.
Council McCarthy moves that these be granted. Under discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
Seeing no further discussion, on Council McCarthy's motion, they be granted. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions.
We have 2 constable bonds, 2 drain layer bonds, and 2 sign bonds.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on License Order Legal Affairs and returned approved.
Council McCarthy moves they be referred to Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs, returned approved. Under discussion, Councilor Famico.
Yes, Mr. President. I just asked that we reach out to Turtle Alley at 177 Essex Street. That's one of the properties that's owned by the Peabody Essex Museum, and starting November the 1st, they'll be starting their next phase there, and the shops between Turtle Alley, Witch Teas, and the Salem Artist and those ones, they'll no longer be in that space. So just to check in with them with updated address and see what's going on there.
So moved.
On Council McCarthy's motion, they be referred to Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs, and returned approved. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap zones, limited time, repeal Prescott Street in front of number 10 for a distance of 20 feet.
Councilor Lovely.
Move adoption for second passage.
Councilor Lovely moves for adoption for second and final passage. Under discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Lovely's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 51, parking prohibited certain streets, repeal Jefferson Avenue easterly side and replace with the following. Chapter 42, Section 74, general prohibitions, tow zone, Jefferson Ave easterly side for a distance of 390 feet from Colonial Road in a northerly direction. And Chapter 42, Section 74, general prohibitions, tow zone, repeal Jefferson Avenue easterly side beginning at Colonial Road to the end of Margin Street.
Councilor Lovely.
Move adoption for second passage.
Councilor Lovely moves for adoption for second and final passage. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 74, parking prohibited tow zone, Francis Road.
Councilor Lovely.
Move second passage.
Councilor Lovely moves for adoption for second and final passage. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
Second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 45, heavy vehicles prohibited Summer Street and Winthrop Street.
Councilor McCarthy.
I don't know how to end up with me, but it's Council Lovely, but it came out of my committee, so I have, with the good Ward 3 councilors' approval, I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption for second and final passage. Under discussion?
Nope.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 14, Section 44, operative air pump required to store fuel.
Councilor McCarthy.
Once again, the Ward 3 council is going to defer to me because my name's listed. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption for second and final passage. Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 45A, heavy commercial vehicles over 26,001 pound, prohibited Wilson Street.
Councilor McCarthy.
I've also further moved with the good Ward 3 council's blessing for second passage.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? Opposed?
On
So
discussion?
moved. Oh, on discussion,
May I-
okay.
If I may, ask Council Lovely, if I may?
Sure.
Chair, if I may, when you do an ordinance like this, heavy commercial vehicles over 26,000 pounds prohibited on Wilson Street, those trucks have to go someplace. They're gonna go down Jackson Street most likely, which is the same type street, residential, or Swampscott Road. Now, everything on you and me, including this desk, including tonight, is done by truck. So those trucks have to go someplace. So we're offsetting from Wilson either to Jackson, which is in your ward, or Swampscott Road. And I can remember very vividly in the past, heavy discussion on Swampscott Road with the transfer station about trucks going past for. And I think we're sending a rippling effect. It may help Wilson Road. I don't know how it came from Wilson Road, but why it came from Wilson Road. But those trucks have to go someplace.
I'd be happy to answer that.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
When you come down Wilson Road, there's a bottleneck at Jefferson Avenue. Trucks have been locked up there, and the police department has had to go there to stop traffic, have them removed, to stop traffic to allow them to back up. I think once the tractor trailer goes down there, they don't go back there again. However, that intersection is just not wide enough for a tractor trailer to get through there, given the busy intersection. Now, as you all know, the Salem Hospital is going to be increasing its traffic, and we are going to face even more traffic there. It's going to be even more difficult. What this does is keep CDL-type trucks. They will have a difficult time of larger trucks, certainly smaller vehicles, postal vehicles, undersized trucks, so forth will still be allowed because they can make that turn there. But that's the reason for it. And as I drafted this, I got a commitment from the mayor and the Dave Knowlton. They're going to be repaving Jackson Street. So some of the traffic will be going there. However, the difficulty of getting by that intersection has been a long time coming. And talking with Lieutenant Pazuski, was so pleased that I brought this forward. And that's the reason why.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Fury. I would note that intersection is pretty much non-navigable by any large vehicle, so I think this is a very good passage. So, on Councilor McCarthy's motion for second and final passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further unfinished business.
Second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 55B, commercial vehicles prohibited from parking in residential districts.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor McCarthy moves for adoption for second and final passage. Under discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick point of personal privilege. Just want to let everyone know that the Dixon Chapel at Green Lawn will be open on Sunday from 9 to 1, giving tours as well of the chapel and the area there. So hopefully people can come and check it out. And as always, it's free and run by the Friends of Green Lawn. Thank you.
Any other? Seeing none, Councilor Fury.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Councilor Fury moves we adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned.